Hey Serge, how you doing?
Jojo. Okay, die bent ja magnifique. Hop.
So Serge, where are you from? Which corner of the globe are you in?
Hello, Joe.
Hello there. How are you?
Fine, fine.
You got everything all set up now. Good. Nice to see you online. So I was wondering, where are you from?
I'm from France.
Oh, okay, nice, awesome. Uh, my wife's favorite country. She loves France. If I say, where would you like to go for an anniversary? I don't even have to ask the question. It just automatically that would be your first choice. So we've been there a couple of times. So I've been there three times. She's been there more because she went with her mom and she has a friend that she travels with. And yeah, it's very nice. Are you north, south, east, or west? Which part are you in?
Northeast, near Germany.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, not exactly near Luxembourg, Germany, and Belgium.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. We went on a road trip one time and we went through Belgium and we went, through France and we picked as a theme to go to the World War One and World War Two memorial sites and different things. It was very, very, very interesting. I enjoyed it tremendously. It was
Uh,
when we go traveling, we pick a theme so that we will pick our locations based on that theme. So one time we were traveling in America in a certain area, we picked music as the theme. And we went to different recording studios in different cities, and famous sound studios. And it just helps you to make decisions about, where you're going to go when you travel. So, but the memorial one was fantastic. Very, very interesting.
yes, you you, uh, you spoke about memorial
Yeah,
about and I am near exactly near Verdun. You know Verdun? There
yeah,
was some battles during the first World War.
right.
and uh, no, up here. Uh, there is
Uh,
a forest there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There on the battlefield start there,
Wow.
and I've
Wow.
and uh, 10, 10 kilometers far away, far from my home, there is an American memorial with
Hmm.
American soldier, and we are very reconnaissance. Uh, Reconnaissing? No, that's not the word. Uh, we remember what Americans
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah,
soldier
yeah.
had made during First and Second World War. So
Right.
for us,
So my dad was a Canadian soldier, and he was stationed in London, England during the Second World War. But we're very, very familiar with a lot of the events. And of course, for me, it's more just historical information. And but we loved that trip. It was great. And we saw a lot of things that were big eye openers. The people over in your part of the world are more conscious of what happened because you have these beautiful and very well looked after memorial sites, right? Places where soldiers were buried and we even were in the schoolhouse where I think it was in Reims where the the surrender was signed in at World War II with the UK and the American and the other people. I know that the surrender with Japan was signed on an aircraft carrier, I believe. So the one surrender for the one that was done in the schoolhouse, I believe, was the German one. Um, it sent shivers up my spine when I was standing there going, wow, this room, if I'd have been there, 50 years or whatever, many years earlier it had been, and actually see what was going on in that room would have been a very significant event. So yeah, but beyond all that, she just we've done tours of the Champagne district, and yeah, she loves that. We went into the chalk tunnels where they store champagne, for all the big. I
yes.
found out on that trip that it was a monk that invented the process for champagne, which is
But
Dom Perignon.
Dom Perignon, wait, Dom
Yeah,
Perignon, yes.
yeah, yeah. I don't say it the way you do, but yes, all of it was just really, really interesting, very interesting stuff. And then we've been in the south of France. We've been, in one time we stayed in the home of a Joomla person who lived in I think the 10th zone around Paris. And Alice Grivet was her name, is her name. She lives in there. She's not involved with Joomla anymore, but we were in her home. And we were only there at night because every day we got on the metro and went and saw something, in the city, and then we would come back at night. And that year, when we were there, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do the next day. We were Thursday night or something, and her husband said, "Oh, did you know that the Paris Auto Show is on?" And I went, "What? You kidding me? It is the most famous auto show in the world." And so that's what we did the next day, and it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. It was so crowded. We saw so many amazing, I like cars, so that was fun. And we had to pick because we were only there for one day and it's such a big area. We had to pick which manufacturers we would go to see because you couldn't see it all in one day. It was just too big. It was great. So
Yes,
you have a lovely country.
yes, there is always something to to do or to visit in Paris.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The, and I went in Paris a few times, and every time I have a new museum, a new I we can't it, a life is not enough to visit for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. SD, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Hello. Good. I was here an hour earlier because I didn't convert the time properly. It was like, so I'm here. But it was good because I had computer startup issues, so it gave me a chance to figure everything out. Um,
hmm
it's always like when you're under pressure, like, okay, let's go. And your computer's just sitting there at startup doing nothing. Come on, stop it. Not today. And
Yeah.
oh, and there he is.
Hey, sorry, my computer rebooted and then couldn't find the event link. How is
I'm
everybody?
just talking about my computer problems today.
Oh yeah, have you solved now?
Well, yeah, I was here an hour early because I did the time conversion incorrectly, but it was a good thing because my computer was resisting startup, and so
Right.
I had all kinds of nonsense going on. I finally got it sorted out. So,
Every week there's somebody that comes on at the wrong time. Every
of
week.
course,
I see the email
well,
come through and I go, I don't know who that is, but we'll find out later. Sometimes
well,
they
you
go
know
on
what?
like a Tuesday or something. They like missed it by like 4 days.
Well, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, some of the issue is that we have time changes, right, in different seasons. So if you mentally just thinking you're going from memory that oh, we're 6 hours difference or we're 5 hours difference, like it switches because it's re do you guys do
Yeah, we did that. Yeah,
that?
hey, daylight
Yeah,
saving time. Yeah,
yeah. Anyways, I'll zip it so you can get rolling here.
sure. Why not? Let me just make sure I'm recording. I wonder if I can choose where I record to. Maybe not. Let me just check and make sure it's got enough space because it's going to record to the cloud. But yeah, we're basically going to go through and build a custom template from scratch. Has anyone done it before?
Yeah, I was fortunate to have Adam as my guide way back when, and it's a cool thing to have. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, in this, I want to see if we could make this faster than I'm using UTheme, but it doesn't really matter. Any other template would be fine, really. Um, but it's just a case of seeing, how quick can we get this thing to be compared to others. Let me just delete some of my other previous meetings, and then we'll have some space in the cloud to record this one.
So I happen to have an instance of Joomla 6 installed. Um, so we're going to be okay, or you want me to
No, I think we'll
use?
be okay with that. I think that would be the idea, would be to get it to be Joomla 6, even if it's not in Adam's tutorial. Um, but we'll go through Adam's tutorial to do it. So um, let's no, I think I've cleared them, but they're in the trash.
Are you going through the tutorial on my template site? Or does he have another one somewhere else?
No, just the one he did on the JD USA.
Okay.
So I'll get that up first and then. Hi, sir. Sorry, I don't know. Have we met before? Serge, have we met before?
No, no, never. I don't
Oh,
think so.
I think I've seen your name around, but I don't think I've met you. Yeah. Well, nice to meet you.
Uh,
Where are you from?
I'm from France,
Ah, okay, okay.
and my English speaking is not very good, but I understand almost what
Okay,
you say, and
okay, okay.
and and I'm already made a custom template with Joomla 1.5.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
20 years ago, I think, and and uh,
Wow.
and I was not a developer. I was not. I didn't know anything about Joomla, but I wanted to have another template, and one friend asked me uh, for a site and for a website, and I went in. I dive into it, and I was helped by the community to do this.
Well,
But it was not a very nice template at the end.
but it's been a while, so things have changed a little. You can put I think there's transcribe or something if you find it hard to understand me, or if I talk quickly.
No, I have subtitles on the desk. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. How you doing, SD?
You? Can you hear
Okay,
me?
cool. So let me I'll share my screen, but really I would really prefer if everybody sort of codes along. Is anybody not going to code along? No? Great. So then all you need is I guess probably a blank Joomla uh, install. Could be local, um, or it could be in a cloud or on a server or something. Doesn't matter. Um, and then we'll go through the tutorial. I'm guessing there might be a bits of people just muting and watching the tutorial at their own speed, and then just seeing what we come up with. What I'm going to do is if I just share my screen. Uh, Here's what I'm going to do. This is my website. I'm going to try and replicate the homepage. There's nothing particularly fancy about it, um, but I'm just going to try and replicate that in a custom template and see if I can get the template to be a faster loading than UTheme. Um, it's entirely up to you guys if you want to make your own website or any other website. Doesn't really matter. But my test is UTheme. UTheme's really well made, so I don't know that this is going to be much faster, to be honest with you. But it'll be interesting to find out. And it'll be interesting to find out what are the other shortfalls because obviously UTheme makes things very quick to build. And it does things like creating the WebP and stuff like that. So it might be that there's advantages aside from the speed. So I guess we'll explore those a bit as well. Um, so has everyone got an install of Joomla ready?
Yep, I got one. It's
Have you
not
got?
you theme, it's just the Cassiopeia and the what do they call it? The child template. Yeah,
Okay,
extended, sorry.
cool. Anything's fine to be honest with you. I mean, mine will be the same, Cassiopeia, but I'm going to see if I can replicate the layout that I've got on my homepage, just because that will give me a good indication. But my homepage is it's quite long, goes on quite a while, so that might give us a good indication. It also might so this is I'll put this tutorial in the chat for um
I have an idea for a future code along.
mhm.
When you say you have a long home page,
Mhm.
how do you know if anybody's actually scrolling to, say, a section at the bottom and reading the content? You did all that work to make it,
Well,
nice and
you can set up Google Tag Manager to show the scroll length on a page.
hmm
So you can see whether they reach 100% or whatever it is. But it's a good point. You'd kind of want to know which sections were interacted with more, I guess, wouldn't you?
hmm
Um, yeah, it's always the trouble with analytics. Is like if I show you, like, I always think you have to start with an opening. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is who we do it for. Um, so I try and make that quite simple. I think this is probably still too complicated. And I always like to have a contact form because some people don't like to phone, so they just want a price, right? So they just contact you straight away. And then I like to put trust factors in, so brands we've worked with, and then I just there's a bit more information, there's a bit more credibility, and a bit more information, a bit more credibility. So I just see it that way. But you're right, I've no idea if that's the best method or not. Yeah, I'd always like to prove these things rather than guess or go on intuition. I guess that would be a good subject, though. I think Adam did another topic actually on this one from Metamagnetic. I have no idea. I didn't even know he did it. I don't know when that came out, but that might be an interesting one that would fit with that story. Um, so let me. Why is this not uploading? Oh, there you go. Done.
Should we install a Joomla 6 or 5?
It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. I think Adam's tutorial is in 5, I would imagine, because 6 has only come out recently.
Okay.
Um, I would expect that 5 would definitely work if you follow the tutorial, but I'm going to try with 6, and I'm going to try and make any changes I need to make to get it up to such a scratch. So it might be worth exploring that as well, to understand that. On the resources part, um, no, where's the? Or maybe it's in the video. Maybe that he talks where he's got a GitHub or something that you can download the files from. So that will save us some time. Basically, because Adam's done most of the work, we can sort of guarantee we'll have a template at the end of this either way. Um, so yeah, I guess there's no point in watching me do this. So you start working on your stuff as well. The chat's got the link in it. If you want to just start watching the video and going through, you'll see what Adam does, and hopefully by the end of it we'll all have something. So why don't we just start working, and maybe in like 10 or 15 minutes I'll touch base with people and just see how far they've got, and if they're encountering problems, just maybe come back and unmute and see if we can help each other.
they have all these PHP extensions committed to memory, which ones you need to
I
enable.
don't. I don't. There might be a way to do that, to be fair, and I don't have it set up like that. So maybe there's a way to ask my host to do them. Um, yeah, I have them memorized as to what ones I need. There's more for WordPress than there is for Joomla, but ultimately isn't there really that many. And most of the things would work without it. It's just like file info, for example, you need that to have the media manager. So there's a couple of things like that which you have to have, and if you haven't got
Don't
zip, you can't upload files.
don't you have to active a MySQL function?
Yes. No, no, I got this one, ND MySQL,
Okay.
but I do need to have a database, so uh, I'll create one now. So this now, there you go. I don't know how anyone else creates it, but I just make random database names, the same as like I do with passwords. Ah, well done. Thanks, SD. So this is the file. So let's yeah. So Adam's done a really good job of creating this template to start us off, and um, it's got some cool options in it that you just Adam's just sort of things that would be useful. So um, we could possibly expand on them if we find something that we think is useful as well. All right. So wonder if I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to share the sound. So when I watch it, the video records the sound as well. But let me know if it's too distracting or anything.
Well, first thing I want to do is I want to thank our sponsors who are making this absolutely possible. As he is with all of his time, because you
any of that, because
that
the bottom
guy's
line
so
is
annoying, eh?
It's a familiar sound.
this is about is not having to pick between core Joomla or a theme builder. This is just about becoming a better builder in general, being able to understand what makes everything work in Joomla underneath. But you don't want to only be good at that and then miss out on the ones that want the custom home because you can't deliver it. So what if you can just deliver whatever your client wants? Then it opens up the door for everything. And so what I'm in a real life setting to be able to actually make some changes to this and use this. In addition to that, what I also did is tags a page.
All right, just gonna install it and see where I get to. Just
So you put the My Custom Site template from the download, which would have been a Joomla 5 package, into the Joomla 6 site,
yeah,
and it just and it
but nothing
worked.
changed. So that's why I said interesting. Because I'm going, well, hold on a minute. Why am I still seeing Cassiopeia? Is it just because that's how it starts, or um, huh? Yeah, it is. It's using the template, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. So the thing about this package is that he already done all the work to copy all of the necessary files that are required for a workable template
Hmm.
and put everything where it needs to go. That was when I was going through it with him was quite the exercise because things are stored in different directories, like in say the media folder you have
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I'm gonna go through and look at that now. Hopefully, with showing it on the screen, it will be easier for anyone watching to understand. Um, let's get my FTP to load on it.
I totally expect you to say, there you have it, everybody. Today, thank you for coming and enjoying our template tutorial as you're whipping through all of this setup here. So you're
Well,
setting up your private key so that you're able to do the SSH session.
yeah, I have. There's a video. I'll drop. You know what? I'll put it in the chat. There's a video I made on how to do this because I know I just went through that quite quickly. But my host is like ultra secure, so they don't allow you to go through normal FTP. You have to go through SFTP, um, which is at first intimidating, but once you know how to do it, it's actually not that bad. You can see it didn't take me very long to do it, but if you've never done it before, you might be going, "Whoa, this is all just jargon." So maybe it's useful to talk it through. So you just have to add a key file rather than just a password. So you need a password, a key file, and a password. But I have a tutorial on YouTube for this already, so I'll add it into the chat in a second, and then people can watch that in their own time if they find it confusing. And one
And
thing I like
you
to do is I like to have synchronized browsing and a directory comparison turned on as well. So when I navigate in one place, it navigates in both of them, both sides of the window, the local and the other one. I think cool, that's worked. So let me just chuck that tutorial in the uh, chat so if anyone needs it. Oh, who's that? Okay.
I remember all the craziness that learning how to do this early on, understanding where does the public key go? Where does the private key go?
Yeah, yeah.
And then making that all work on your website. And then everybody using different FTP clients as well too.
Yeah.
And
I
they
remember
all
when I
do.
very first started and like created a database, and it was like the most intimidating thing I'd ever done, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but then, later on you realize like it doesn't matter about what it all means. Just follow the instructions and then it'll work. And then you won't really need to know what database username and password and all that means.
Hmm.
Right, so I'm gonna go into my templates folder and have a look at what's we got. Uh, so I'll talk it through just for people who maybe don't know what all these files are. So the template details XML, same as like most Joomla extensions, components, plugins, everything else, modules, they always have XML files. So what we can see is the name here of the template, which will show in the back end of Joomla. Adam has said it's the Joomla project, but we could change that to our own name. This is telling us which files there are. What this does is when we install it, it knows to install those files. If there was a file in the zip file, but it wasn't listed there, it wouldn't install it. So important that all the right files are there. The destination for the media. So you can see that it's actually got the URL here, and then it's going into the folder media. So it's into the templates thing, and then into media folder in the templates, and then they will have their own ones. And then these are assigning the module positions. So just for complete clarity, if I go here and I have a module, and I want to assign a position, do you know what? Let me get rid of Cassiopeia for a second. Can't disable that. Okay, fine. So on here, when we go to, you should see my template, which is here. And these are the template positions. So banner, below top, bottom A, bottom B. And if we look here, we'll see below top, bottom A, bottom B. So these are all the positions that you can use exactly in the module manager. These are the language files which get translated. So if you have multilingual, you would have different ones there as well as the British one. And the advanced fields and field set are what appear in, let's close this. In here. So we've got brand, we've got logo. So if we have a look, we've got brand, we've got logo. So all of these fields are the options you can set in the template. So Adam has been good enough to give us quite a few. And we could add more by adding them to this XML file. So I think that's all I need to look at in there. Hopefully that made it clear for people. The index.php is the file that is used when you render the template. We'll look at that in a second. We've got the error PHP, which is if you have a 404, 403, or anything like that. Look at that in a second. We have offline, so this one I'll just show you where that's set in global configuration. If you set this site offline, it will show this message as long as the template has called the message. So that will be a small file. So let's have a quick look at that one. So just talking through this, so we see from the top, all of these things which they use, this is calling in, probably Adam would explain this better than me, but it's calling in classes, which are part of the Joomla core, which you can then access. So the factory text will allow you to do the translations and allows you to call in. So let's open a translation file to explain this. Oh, it won't be here, it will be in languages.
So that in itself was for me early on in learning all of the back end stuff, because when you've been a front ender and then you start to learn the back end, the very part that you highlighted there that use and then it has the path was getting my head around just exactly what's going on there. So what that's doing is it's saying that all the files that are referenced in that area are available in the actual file that you're working on right there.
Yeah.
And so that you don't have to have a zillion lines of code because all the other code needed to make this file work are accessed through that use Joomla /CMS/factory and all that.
Exactly. So this line here, this particular part, we're saying factory get application would not work if we hadn't called use factory. because it would just be unaware of what that meant. We'd have to define it. But because we're calling it, it knows what it does and it can do it. This WA stands for Web Asset Manager, so you can see this get Web Asset Manager, but it's just assigned to a shorter variable. But the text one allows us to use these language files, and so
Mhm.
if we put this in and use the text with it, it would show us back to top. Or obviously, if it's a different language, it would show we would use the same variable, but we'd have Italian or whatever the translation would be, and then it would show that instead. So I'll just check if we've got anything in here. It's using it. Yeah, here we go. So it's done echo text off J offline message. So
Yeah,
this.
show the J offline message in that other ini files.
So it's in this one, is it? Oh, not in there. Oh, interesting. So that must be from maybe from Cassiopeia or something. So it
Hmm.
might be a global thing. So I'll just check Cassiopeia because it's probably likely to be in there. No, maybe it's in the global thing somewhere else. Interesting.
Yeah, so when you run into this situation,
Mhm.
show how to find in file on the left. So you're using PHP Storm, right?
I'm using a Visual Studio Code,
Oh,
but
okay, be the
I'll
same
show you what
thing.
I would do here, Joe, if I didn't know what this was actually going to say. I'm
Uh-huh.
assuming it just says Joomla is offline or something similar, but what I would do is go into the back end, I go to System, and I will go to Languages, and then I would have to do here. Oh, Language Override, sorry, that's what I'll do. So if you go into Site and then go to New, and then you can do the search here, uh, and it will tell you this. So this is the language constant, and this is what it says. Site is down for maintenance. Please check again soon. And it tells you where it's located. Oh no, it doesn't. But that's anyway. That's a very quick way for me to find out what it means. And I guess while we're here, we might as well say, if we wanted to, we could change it.
So
So yeah,
these are the little gotchas that freak out somebody that's newly learning, because when you don't know, well, it should have been obvious that that would show up, right? Because and then
yeah. And I don't know where it is, to be honest with you. I haven't caught it yet, so I could do a search for it. But I think, in the interest of time, I'm not going to. But
no, but my point is that don't always think that it's because you don't know something. You're
mm,
making the assumption that everything's perfect, and it usually
yeah,
isn't.
yeah, very true. But yeah, anyway, so now we have changed this message. The override would be the thing that would be used. So um, this is probably going a bit outside of what we're trying to teach today, but I'll just show it anyway. And the override hasn't been issued.
There you go, eh? These are the little nigglies that will mess
Oh well,
you
it's
up
got a
when.
custom message here as well. So here you go. Maybe we change it to the language site. Uh, there you go.
Yay! There you go.
So yeah, but obviously, I would imagine most people would just change it here. Um,
Right.
uh, anyway, that's kind of a little side quest, really. So I'm going to keep going through the files and just checking what's in there and talking through it, and then I'll get coding. So component PHP we didn't look at, so I'll open that. For people who don't know, the index file at some place will reference the component, and the component PHP just renders the component, which would be, for example, your articles, or if you had J2 Commerce installed, it would be J2 Commerce, or if you had another component installed, it would be that. So if we think of it as, if I go back to my template details, And if I think of like these positions, these things will be rendering modules above and below and everything like that. Normally, I would expect the main part to be the component, which isn't an actual position. So if we look in the index and try and find a component, here is, so it's this JDoc include type component. That will mean it includes everything in this component.php file. But to very simplify it, it just means it will include the component from that menu item. So if I go here and I have home is featured articles, so that would be the component on the home page. If I then create a new menu item and I maybe I do contacts, for example, I do a single contact. Oops, we have a contact. Okay, so now we have a contact, it should work. So, oh, I should take it out of offline mode. So now I have a single contact and it's Joe, so it just comes up there. So that is now what's showing in this component part, which is called here. So we'll have a quick look at it, but I think probably I don't want to confuse people too much by going into this. But all you really need to know is it renders the component. But if we look here, if you choose the params font scheme, so I would guess if we go back here, here's params. And now if we look at for font scheme, use font scheme, is that what it was? Font scheme.
Params font scheme, yeah.
Even so, it's probably still the same thing because here, params font scheme is going to find use font scheme. So it's just assigned a different variable name to it. So it's just saying if that's set, then we'll do these other things. And you can see it's lazy load style sheet by the looks of it. This is the Web Asset Manager, so it's registering use styles. The reason Web Asset Manager is useful is because when it sets things, they can be cached and they can have a specific query on the end. So when I say query, any URL that has a question mark in it, something like that would be like a query on the end of the URL. And these files have, I don't know if they have a query, but they have a random number or letters or whatever on the end. And that allows you to bust the cache when you create a new one by creating a different variable on the end. So he's adding a favicon and he's adding the HTML. And so you can see the component is here. Message, message is if there's ever an error. So for example, or any other message. So for example, if I save something, it would say like article saved correctly in the admin, that's in the message. So on the home page, you might get something like maybe a login error or something like that might be there. And so this is loading the scripts, this is loading the CSS styles, and the rest of it is just, oh, this is loading the metas. Oops. And this is loading the language, so it's deciding whether it's left to right or right to left, basically, as well as loading which language it is.
So, Owen, the component is taking up everything in between the body tags. Is that what this little bit of HTML is telling us down here at the bottom?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's basically generating the whole page. So I'll close offline. I'll show you error quickly, but I won't go on it too much because this is just it just shows a 404 or 403, so it gets the error code and then it puts it on the page. So this one is just loading the logo and count modules. It basically says, are there any modules in that position? If so, we'll render them. So this one is looking for modules that are in the menu position or the search position. and then it renders them. And then, yeah, here's some language strings. So we're using the text again, which is because we did the thing at the top saying to use text. So now we're able to do that. And it's basically let's see if I can generate an error page. It'll be this basically, something like that. So it's telling us the error code here, and it's got some of these things will be the language strings that are being rendered here. So mistyped address is one of them. So there we go. Oh, so this one actually the language string has rendered the constant and not a message. So there's an error there. What that will mean is that it's missing from our languages file that we showed before. So we could either add it to our languages file, or we could go up here and we could add it to our language overrides, and that would also solve the problem. So we'll just do this and say save that, and then there you go. So now that's fixed. But ultimately, if we were shipping this template to other people, we would want to make sure that it was included in our language file when we zip it up. So we go back to language and then just show you what that would be like. So I probably wouldn't change it in here because if we install a new template, it would override this file. But before I ship this in a zip file, I would make sure this is added. So there you go. That's exactly how you would do it, and that would just do exactly the same thing as what I did in here. This is just a back-end way of doing it. The back-end way of doing it is great for overrides, but if I'm shipping a product that everyone's going to use, I should probably do it in here. So close all these. So now we know what the error does. And we'll just take a look at index now because this is going to be the longer of the things. So we can see here we have a head and we have a body. So this is going to be on, what is this going to be on? Pages without a component? All pages have a component though, right?
So just to clarify, we have several index PHP files within a Joomla install. You have one at the root level, and then you have one inside the template folder. So we would be looking at the one inside the template folder.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the one inside the template folder. Just go back to that so that's clear. So I'm looking at this one, and you're right, there are index files everywhere. So Joomla really works through the index file. So the main index file will load, and then it would call the different index files based on the template, basically. So even though this hasn't got index.php on the end of it, it would still be using the index file. And here you can see index.php. Just to talk you through, that won't always be there because sometimes you'd use the URL rewriting. In fact, most of the time I would hope. So now if I go back, I haven't done my htaccess file. So I rename this to .htaccess, and then there you go, it works. But no, I don't see index.php in the URL. But it's important to know that it doesn't matter which menu item I visit or which URL is there, I'm always going to this index.php in the template folder at this point. Which is what this is. And so you can see, look, it's rendering below top, and it's basically saying if there are any modules assigned to top bar, then we'll render the module position. If there are none, we just won't render it. Or else there'd be loads of blank rows and stuff. Is component in here? Yeah, so this is rendering component as well. Um, I'm trying to remember what the difference between the index and the component is. I'm pretty sure this component loads um, as a default for any component, but I think most of the times would go through the index. Um, I don't know the difference. So if anyone knows it, shout.
I think index.php um, load the whole page
Uh-huh.
and the component inside, and component load the part of the component article category or comme content comme assimilating comme contact and so on,
Yeah.
and and index.php load modules on components. I don't know
Right.
if
This
I'm
is what I
right.
thought as well. This is what I thought as well. And I'm like you, I built a very old template, so I definitely used to work like that. But if we look in the component PHP, I wasn't expecting to see head and body and HTML because I thought this just loaded the component part.
Okay.
But guessing that this is like some sort of default or fallback or something like that. But
But isn't that for the purpose of being able to have a navigation system available in the component? Because if you just load the component and it's only using the body, then you don't have anything above and below it.
like so what happens is this is loading the component here, right? In
Yeah.
the index file. So everything is already above and below it is in the index file. So I was only
Oh,
expecting to
but
see
that's the
parts of it.
HTML. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to see the HTML in the other part. But let's uh, do an Atom special and ask AI what the difference is so it can help us.
And you can move the part this div
Yes.
this div, and you can do everything, but you need to load type gdoc include type component. You need to display the component,
Uh, yes. So this is what.
and it calls component .php.
Yeah. So that would call the articles or whatever else. Um, I'll ask Claude what the difference is and see if it gives us a sensible answer.
If you move this line, or if you comment this line, it won't it, it won't display the component part,
Hmm.
not the module, but the component. For example, if you have an item, a menu item with a list of articles, it just won't display this list of articles.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
So I look.
the modules and so on are displayed.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. 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 So I've looked on Claude about the difference between index and component. And component is usually used to just show a simplified design, so it doesn't show like the menu, header, navigation, stuff like that. And it's used in some views, like the when you click on an article and you click on print, the print view, you don't want to print obviously the menus and stuff like that. So that's what the component is for, simplified views. You can use it for print views, for modal windows and pop-ups, email templates, iframes, or just any situation where you don't need the full page wrapper. So now we know that. Cool. So I'm going to spend a lot of time explaining. I'm going to get on with some coding. Just check the last file here and check the HTML. Um, That's cool. So the Joomla assets.json loads all of the CSS files by the looks of it. I'll just check what's in the HTML folder. So just explain if anyone's watching, the HTML folder is where you do your overrides for layouts. So mod custom, if we look in here, we do new custom. There's there. This is custom module. So if I give it a position, sure I'm in my template. Okay, so I'll do bottom B. And then we'll have a quick look at it. And then Adam's done a layout override on it. So, okay, so it's allowing a background image in the as a banner sort of thing. So I'm guessing he used this in his tutorial somewhere. So maybe we should go back to that and follow it through. But what I'm actually going to do, as I know roughly what I want to do, is create all my module positions. So I can copy this and see if I can recreate this. So I'm gonna go and do that now. So I'm gonna should I how difficult will it be to rename everything? Doesn't matter, I've got a backup. I can just edit this version. So I'm gonna add in my module positions and I'm just gonna give them the names that I want so it makes sense. So I've got like menu, yes. On screen. Menu hero 4. So I was going to call it form because I'm looking at this and there's a form there. That wouldn't be a very good name for a module position because there might not always be a form there. So I think I'll call it below hero maybe. And I'll do the next one. Because these are in 2 columns, I'll talk you through how that would work. If I have I've got my custom module in bottom B. If I duplicate it, publish it, you'll now see that I have 2 columns here because I published them both in the same position, which was bottom B. So when I'm looking at this, I know that I only need one position here. I don't need one here and one here necessarily because the columns can be generated. But when I go to the next row, I probably need a way to make that full width. So I probably do need another one there. I'll call it call to action, but it's probably not a good name because it could always be something different. But in the interest of getting this built in the next hour, Okay, so um,
Did you change it in index.php?
uh, the what the position names? No, not yet. I'm just gonna name
Because
them all.
in template details XML, that's just the way it appears when you select position.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do them all here first, and then I'll create them in the index PHP as well. Um, how are you getting on SD? Sitting there quietly on mute?
I had to recreate my site, but I caught up.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
Trying to keep up with you creating all these module positions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing as quickly as possible, so I'm giving them like pretty pretty bad naming conventions, I would say, because they're not dynamic enough. Like I could change this, put something else in this position tomorrow, and then it wouldn't be called Google Reviews. Um, Also, if you're using, I think I have Claude turned off, maybe. Yeah, I have Claude turned off. I'm gonna turn it on, and then you might see that it helps us to do this a bit quicker as well. Uh, just one position. There's a below footer as well. Okay, so we want to debug as well. I think I'm gonna get rid of this stuff and just comment it out for now and leave the other bits. So if I upload that, first thing I'm gonna do is test whether I see those module positions by creating a new module. Values was one of them. It wasn't. So maybe I have to reinstall it to get the module positions to appear. So if I look at, if I open up the original template file, and I just want to see So I'll talk people through this as well. So this is, if we look at, if I put it side by side, if we look at, I'm in my template, and here we see HTML, HTML, but we're seeing here language and media, which we're not seeing on here. And that's because as soon as they got installed, they were put in a different place. So language files, we already looked, so we've seen them before. They're in this language, and media goes to media. So if we look in media, we should, if we scroll down, templates maybe. And then we have my template here. So if we look in here, we'll see, for example, some images, logo SVG. So if we look in here, you'll see it follows the same folder structure. Actually, logo SVG. So just so you understand that why these things are not in your templates folders, because they go into a proper folder, which is kind of like a Joomla default. Same for components and stuff like that. They should all be using the media folder. And one of the main reasons for that is because you can do overrides on the media folder as well. So you can actually add a media folder into your template. And then, for example, that logo.svg, if I added a media folder into my template and then a logo.svg, it would override it and use the one in my template rather than the one in the media folder. So I could actually override the CSS or the logo or anything in that way, which is kind of a neat trick, which doesn't get talked about too often. Not sure it's used loads, but it is a nice way of being able to override. Say, for example, you had a site with CSS and you really hated their styling, you could just replace that CSS file for that component and use your own styling rather than having to go into PHP and find out how to remove the CSS file. You could just override it with a different one. Right, so now what I want to do is I was checking all of this because I wanted to know how would I upload this how would I upload this folder again if there's to see if I can get the XML thing to work that I've just done. So I should, so I want these two media files. They weren't in there before, so I've now put them in here. And now I can delete these two. So now I have exactly the same on my local. So if I want to zip it up, I can install it. Okay, so just go back to see if it installs, and then let's see if we have our module positions available. Don't have a manifest file. Our first problem. Why doesn't it have a manifest file? The XML file is the one. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, mm. I don't think the name has got anything to do with it. Oh, so that's Claude what it could be. In fact, I could probably do this in here. Why? Oh, how do I run that? Ah, so this is a Joomla 6 issue.
Oh, well, there we go. I was just
But how comes the first
investigating.
template installed? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you I created an HTML file with a Claude output of the explanation. You want me to upload that so you can see it? Put this file in. If you load that file that's listed 2026-0108, it's just basically a an HTML file that Claude talks about why a cause for manifest detection failure. But like you say, if this is a Joomla 6 issue, then this wouldn't be relevant. But this was the explanation I got back from Claude.
How do I just save it? Where did I save
Excuse me, but I installed a Joomla 6
it?
and when I go into the FTP, I do not see Joomla XML.
No, exactly. This is what we're seeing as a
Uh,
problem too.
Perhaps Claude is wrong.
This could be true. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's true. Very true. I don't see it either. So yes. Uh, well, it wouldn't be that surprising if Claude is wrong sometimes. So you raise a good point.
Do you have a template details XML in your zip file?
Yeah, yes, I did. But let's see if it installs now, because if it does, then something will have changed. So at least we'll know for sure whether that is something or not. But I agree, it's not in the other files on the other templates. No, so that's still the same problem. So yeah, Claude is wrong. So let's ask Claude. Oh, it's saying in some errors as well than stuff that I did.
Did you change name of your template in template details?
No, I just added positions and commented some. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the commenting in the space. Maybe it doesn't like that.
There is a field name.
Yes, I haven't changed it, but I think maybe because I put a space in the XML, that could cause a problem.
Okay.
Why don't you duplicate the XML, save it as a backup, and then just remove all the commented out stuff and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, I've just deleted the comment and the space, so then
Okay.
that will.
I'll try it on mine.
Yeah, I think that could easily be the problem, but I think Serge raises a good point in that don't trust AI. No, that didn't solve the problem.
Didn't change it in mine.
CPU. Invalid XML. Oh, I spelled position wrong. There you go. That's an obvious problem. Okay, so it's fixed it now. Still saying there's no minutes.
So on my local version where I'm doing this, when I create a new module position, I can type in your module positions that were created in that XML file. They show up in the module to select
Right.
them.
Once you've
And
typed them in, you can it creates a new position. Is that what you mean, or?
well, so I'm working local, so I'm not putting this up onto a server. And I didn't have to install. I just simply have those files created in my local site. When I create a new module position um, in the new template that we're using, so I created a custom module, and then for position, I'm picking a position from the XML file. It's showing up in there. It's definitely uh, in you
Oh,
know
you don't have to type it in. It's already there when you search for it.
yeah, I can search for it and it's in there.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to rename this, and then hopefully that allows us to install it.
You should have to change your media destination file folder.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay, section.
And I haven't followed if you change into the index PHP the module
I haven't done that yet, but
position.
I haven't done it. Well, I'll do it in a minute, but okay, we installed it. Languages already exist, but doesn't matter because we know that already. And then here's my template now. So let's change it over to that one. Because of this. Okay, sort that later. Let's see if we have okay, OS template, and we have all the module positions here now. Okay, so now I've done that. I now need to do as Serge said, put them into my index. So Maybe Claude can do this quicker for me. Our service is a bit sparse.
Do you want to add them or to change?
No, I'm just
Good.
adding them. So now that is there, I can upload this, I guess. Um, so now if I change this to render something in annotation, maybe. See what happens. Okay. Template for this display is not available. Please contact the website administrator. Uh, okay, so now we know our module position is working. So now technically I could go through and create all of these things. So this could just be a custom. It's going to be in hero, so that doesn't seem to be showing. It's weird. Hmm. Oh, so maybe modules are not showing because it's only showing module 2, which is in bottom B. And bottom B shouldn't exist. So Cassiopeia loading, not there. Why would that be then? Why is this able to load in position that doesn't exist? Can't be cached. Ah, this is what does exist. These are the wrong place. Okay, I've deleted all the old module positions. I should now.
So I did manage to get a custom position using your one of your position names
Mm-hmm.
in mine. And that was just basically copying the code that is, you
Adams
know,
code.
yeah, if this count module's position name, quote, more about square balloon, um, blah, 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 JDocs include. So it did show up in mine.
I've done this wrong. So this will now be. Yeah, I think first of all I had put them in the wrong place in the file. So I hadn't put them in the body, I put them in the head or something. And second of all, I had left the old positions in. So here we go. Now they are showing up
Mhm.
in the wrong place, admittedly, but they are showing up. So there's plenty to do in terms of styling. I think maybe I've deleted some HTML or something that was helping it out. Yeah, this is header. Oh, oh. So I'm just going to add SCGs as allowable type so I can add my logo. For anyone who hasn't done this before, just be careful because SVGs can contain some JavaScript in them, I believe. So let's have a look and see if that worked. There you go. Now my SVG is loading. Oh, now we have that. Let's see what we can do to get the CSS to look better.
It certainly lets you know that creating your own template takes more than 1 hour.
Well, we did talk through quite a lot of the things as well. Um, and um, and yeah, it does take more than an hour, but now we have module positions working, and we have modules loading. It's not gonna take me a million hours to start putting stuff in here. Like immediately, um, I would think about like, do I want to load Bootstrap? Do I want to load UIKit? What do I want to start with? I think Adam probably started with Bootstrap. Let's have a look and see if we can see it anywhere.
Do you intend to use UIKit classes for your new
Yeah, I
template?
think I would because the site is built with UTheme, which uses like the UIKit, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
and the documentation is pretty good and plenty of stuff there. So, um, it's not that hard to add this HTML markup in there, and then it's available to me. The things you would need to think about, as I'm aware we've only got 10 minutes left, would be like, for example, this is in a module, and if I go to modules, so this one, on the advanced, I have the layout here, which is from the module, but I could also take it from the module Chrome, from the template. So in HTML and in layouts, you'll find Chromes. So card and no card is there. And you also have mod custom has got this banner PHP. So we may as well load that and just see what that is. Don't seem to have done much differently, to be fair. Maybe it's because I've renamed my template. Actually, maybe it's because
So in theory, Owen, when we
Mhm.
say that you want to create your new template and and challenge what you already say have using using and seeing if it would be more efficient or faster or whatever.
So like I would say with almost certainty that building would be slower. If client's giving you a budget of £500 and you need to build a website, don't build a custom template.
Right.
Use a builder, right? Because you can smash the thing out quickly and build the layouts, and if they want changes, it's quite a lot quicker. But once you have it set up and configured, I don't think you're gonna have as much a problem as you think, because columns take care of themselves and rows can take care of themselves. You do need probably so like you have the ability in the module to set module classes. So you could
Mhm.
be setting like for example card. You could call UK card and UK card body and put that into the module potentially. I mean, we haven't tested it, so we don't know, but that potentially could just make it work immediately.
Yeah,
And
go
you can
for it.
see
Yeah,
here that
let's.
like these are the module chromes which um are in the layouts in chromes. Adam has put one for card. I don't know. Doesn't seem like everything's loading properly on this side at the moment anyway, so yeah, it didn't make a difference. But that will be almost certainly the reason things aren't loading will be because I've renamed my template here. Let's do the right one. Here I've named it Owen's template, and then I haven't checked anywhere else. Um, so here it's calling my template, so that's why the language isn't loading. So uh, ease. So that would be part of the problem with the language strings not loading, and then if I change that, then we have these things. So all of these potentially could be changed. In fact, I can probably just do that now, showing you if we do match case, would it do it like that? So I can find and replace things quite easily, but we still have to look for my template in. Here you go. So here's the CSS, which is not loading. So we might want to do find and replace for that as well. Um,
Excuse me, Oliver.
mhm.
Did you change some classes or uh,
Classes,
you, you you do not change classes
in what sense?
in your index
In
in
here?
your index?
Oh, that's good.
There are some class in module on div.
So say again.
When you call a module position, when you call a
Yes.
module position, there are some class.
So here.
Yes, and div class container menu for example, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
This
see.
and perhaps in if you change it, some CSS in your
So
in your
yeah,
file
Adams has full
are
width in it.
uncalled.
So we have yeah, we have got grid child and full width and stuff like that. So this is why it's not working properly.
Okay.
You are right. You are right. So if I can probably add this easily enough if I just go uh, so if I just hold down Alt, I can click on multiple places at once. Let's see if we upload that, what happens to the site. There you go. Yep, you're right. That makes it look a lot better. So quite a simple change, but well done for identifying it, Serge. That's a shortcut to making this website a bit quicker. Obviously, the red background doesn't look great, but we can change all of that quite easily in the future. It's about getting the layout kind of right first, then you can tinker with CSS and stuff. Let's go with the top one. I didn't do that one. Yeah, so
I always
let's up.
found it. Go ahead.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go on.
I always found it curious about UTheme that they went with UI Kit, and they've always looked fantastic, and there's no question UTheme looks like they've won the page builder, uh, you know,
Yeah.
wars. Because back when page builders all first started coming out, there was a lot more than there are today, and a
Yes.
lot of them have dropped off. And it seems like all of the developers that I know that use page builders, it's down to two different ones, and UTheme is the more popular of the bunch.
What's the second one?
Yeah, so what is that? So some people are still using SP Page Builder,
Mm.
and they work quite differently. Like when you look at them, they're really
Mm.
different.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, it's been around for a while. It's still got a value to the product.
hmm
What I liked, the reason, look, I'm not here to badmouth any of the other template clubs. They've all built fantastic products, so I don't really want to sort of pick a favorite. But obviously, I have used UTheme, so it's mine. But what I like is, this is not a good example. This is a better example. Um, if, for example, let's find like this is like the minimum sort of HTML you can write, doesn't add in
hmm
lots of extra stuff. It adds in extra classes if it needs to, but it doesn't add extra divs. And
hmm
that's kind of how you would write it if you were writing HTML, properly from scratch. So that's why I like it quite a lot because so this, it adds all these classes to style things, but it doesn't add endless divs just to do things. If you look at like um, like Divi or something like that, which is obviously WordPress. I don't know if this is even built with Divi, is it? it's called elegant things. That doesn't help. But if you find a Divi site, they have so many divs and stuff that are unnecessary. It's like massively code bloated because just the inefficient way it's written. UTeam must have thought about this very carefully because the code they've written is quite efficient. There's not a whole lot that I would criticize about it, which is kind of why I chose them.
Is that because a lot of engineering has gone into the CSS side of things?
Well, they're using UIKit, so do they make UIKit, do you know, or
I don't know. That's a great question.
yeah, I don't know either. I always assume they did, but I don't know to be fair. Um, but this is same as Bootstrap. It's been very well thought out, and um, it's really easy to go over the top and start adding divs and classes everywhere, but you don't always need them. But UTeam have obviously thought about that very carefully when they built their system. Anyway, that's just my opinion. There'll be someone else who says, no, actually, I like Quix Builder or any of the other ones that are out there, and they'll have their own reasons for using them. And ultimately, the only thing that matters is that you can solve your problem in a way that's efficient for you and your clients. If you can get a website built quicker than I can because you're doing it a different way and that has benefit, then so be it. I'm not really here to push one supplier or another.
So UTeam does make UI kit.
It does,
AI,
yeah. I thought
yeah.
it did. So yeah, no surprise then that they use it, but it is a very well thought out framework anyway. It doesn't really have loads of JavaScript in it that it doesn't need. The JavaScript it uses, so for example, if you have like an accordion, for example, it only loads that JavaScript on that page. So it's very, very modern the way it's written. At least I think that's true. Someone's going to criticize us on YouTube. Look, guys, I'm aware it's 5 o'clock, and I don't like to go over because I know everyone has families and stuff like that. SD, how did you get on?
I learned a bunch of little nuggets that I didn't pick up the last time.
Did you good? Or just from us
Was
explaining
it?
things, or
Yes, yes,
okay, okay.
definitely.
Yeah, it probably slowed down the build, and we didn't get it the goal achieved quite as we would have done. But I guess we're here to kind of learn together and maybe help educate anyone else who's watching.
So for the benefit of people that are like brand spanking new, I always try to ask the questions that are sometimes really obvious to people who are operating at, say, your level. The reason, say, this loads is because of the reference made at the top of the page. Because I remember being stuck in a lot of assumptions are made when you're involved in demonstrations that you're coming with a certain level of understanding or knowledge or experience. And that isn't the case when you're a newbie. Everything's new. And the thing that knackered me a lot in the beginning was when I would run into things that I didn't realize were bugs or deficiencies in the system itself. And I thought it was a deficiency or a problem with my understanding.
Yeah,
And I
yeah, yeah.
would wind up in this massive, confusion loop.
Yeah,
Uh,
and sometimes it's like, oh, like you don't do it that way, you do it this way, and then you go, oh, right, that's quite easy, but you just didn't know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, more than one way of doing the same thing. Well, I've enjoyed this. This is great. And I did definitely pick up things, even though I've done this sort of thing in the past. You don't do this a lot. And I think your advice, if you don't have a proper budget to do
Yeah,
a
use a builder.
template from scratch, unless you've built your own already. And I think that's the case with Adam. So for example, JDay USA is
Mm.
using a template that Adam developed that was based on a Bootstrap
Yeah, it's based on this
HTML.
template that he's given us. So, like we did quite try and customize it, right? You don't
Yeah,
have to. You can just use it out of the box as it is, and you'd get something like this quite quickly if you don't tinker with everything.
and it has a
Um,
lot of really, really nice things built into it. But like anything, you have to know your tool. If
Yeah.
you become super familiar with your own template, then it's
Hmm.
a lot easier. I know that when Adam and Olivier and I put the JDay USA site together, and by the way, I was the grunt guy. I didn't do the real, impressive stuff that both Adam and Olivier did. But the users of the site, which would have been the other members of the JDay USA team, they initially said this is not easy to work with. But
Mm.
that's only because of not being familiar with it.
Yes. Yeah.
Once you become familiar with something, you know your tool. So you do better with a weaker tool if you know how to use it like really well than if you have a strong tool and you have no idea how to use it. So, pacing yourself to match your ability to use your tool to its maximum. I do like the fact that you pointed out some things about UTheme and UI kit that I actually never knew before. So today I learned a little bit about that and the efficiency of it. And maybe this is the reason why it's become so popular is that, like you say, the simplicity and the way they did their HTML with their classes and everything.
Like I would probably still for customers mainly use the builder because it's quicker, if I'm honest with you. But for my own website, where I want it to be like the best performing and it should be a bit of a showcase of what's possible and it should be the best website I build, then
Yeah,
I'll probably put the more effort in. So I probably will consider going around and doing this. And something that Adam told me as well was what's it called? Uh, he said like look, go on Theme Forest and you can find loads of sort of templates on there. I mean, there's a chance you could like so let's just do so like you could just go on here, find one and say, oh, I like the look of this, and can I rebuild it using this custom template?
right, exactly.
And so I said to him like, how long would you expect that to take? And he said like probably a couple of days. So it would depend on like what features it has and whether it's got custom JavaScript or like this has got a slideshow in the background. So um,
Is he just referring to taking the design of it or actually
mhm.
buying the template and modifying it?
No, he's talking about like just getting this design and saying, I like the
Yeah,
look of that. Let's make this and let's replicate it as best we can in the custom template.
right,
Um,
right, right, right.
like you can see, this is going to be kind of easy to build 4 columns. You just publish 4 modules into that module position, right? And then
Hmm.
style it the way it is, which is a minimal amount of CSS. The slideshow, you're going to have to go and find like, okay, what's a slideshow that can do a background image with some text on top? That's probably loads out there, but you probably could choose one which is really, really low um, overhead. It might be just a kilobyte or two because it's such a simple thing. You can get slideshows which can do so many things, and it's bloated
Yeah,
because you're not using them all, right? But if you're
yeah.
building custom, you can either code it yourself or you can just get something really lightweight that only does that tiny thing.
So if it's already inherent in the template, so for example, Bootstrap has a carousel slide,
Hmm.
and so you could maybe do the modifications that are needed, like you say, and make it your own. This is, I think, one of the biggest advantages of becoming familiar with the back end is that now you can start creating things that are lean and mean and do exactly what you want without having to load a lot of other stuff. Because back in the early days, people would be pointing out to me, like back-end developers, oh, you're loading, like, for example, jQuery, you're loading that
Hmm.
many times instead of
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
But you don't know this when you're a front ender. You don't understand these things until you become familiar
Right.
with how it works under the hood. That's why I like this. So
Yeah.
I represent somebody that started at the front end and always said, I want to know how this all works in the back. And
Yeah.
it's
I built my first module and I loaded jQuery and I asked somebody like, "Hey guys, I built my first module. Can anyone take a look and see if what I did is okay?" And first thing someone came back with, "Oh, by the way, when you load jQuery, there's a Joomla way of doing it, and if it's already loaded, it won't load it a second time." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." and that is controlled now in the modern way is controlled by the Web Asset Manager, which we didn't really touch on much, but is this part here.
Mhm.
So I think if you're using it the proper way, it's the same. It won't load font awesome twice. It won't load jQuery twice. In my opinion, jQuery shouldn't be used anymore.
Mhm.
It's quite like most things can be done in JavaScript vanilla now.
Mhm.
So why need to load a library? It's just another bit of bloat that you don't want. But if we're being more pragmatic, sometimes the components you're using still need jQuery, or the module you're using still needs jQuery. So maybe you have to pick carefully if you're not going to load jQuery, or if you
Exactly.
go to choose a
Yeah.
slideshow, for example, you need to check does it use vanilla or does it use jQuery or whatever, because you could quite bloat yourself out by doing them things.
Mhm. So this
That's
has
an
been great. Well,
Yeah, it's an
thank you for
interesting test.
doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, cool.
But
I'll upload the videos and then hopefully people can watch it again in the future. I still have last ones to do as well, but I have some customer data in there. I need to blur it somehow. So once that's done, I'll upload that one as well. But that was a good test as well.
right, right. So what are some of your future topics, thoughts that you're gonna do?
Well, we wanted to do still got the uh what did we do? I can't remember what I called it. We wanted to do the pipeline CRM that we were doing before. I wonder if I can find it here. Uh, oh yeah, maybe it's this. Um, so we had started building our CRM system using Component Creator, and then oh yeah, here it is. And we had started doing um, a drag and drop thing. So that was maybe something that we've had planned to do a part two of that. So it might be that we follow on with that. So if you look on this Kanban view, uh, it was like a drag and drop. It's not quite
Hmm.
working, but it's like a. I just haven't seen anything like this in Joomla, and I thought this is so useful. We could use this for like to-do lists, or you know,
Hmm.
for a CRM system, or for loads of different reasons. We just said how difficult would it be to build, so we built it using mainly AI to help us. It was quite extensive, but after 2 hours, we managed to get this view made. So we were planning on doing a part two where we just try and improve it and. Um, this could be potentially a very nice CRM for Joomla if we put some work into it. And
Who is the component builder? Which one are you using?
this one we use Component Creator. And the reason we used it is because it brought out a new AI thing where you could just type in what you're looking to build and it creates all of the tables for you. Um,
Hmm.
and so what we did, Adam suggested we go and we asked Claude to write the prompt in the first place. And so then Claude went away and kind of worked out what tables we needed. So when we put the prompt in, it gave us a really solid starting point. So, um, where's it gone now?
Component creator, is that Soren?
Yes, Soren,
Okay.
Soren Jensen, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a good tool. It takes you so far because once you start editing it, you're outside of the component creator at that point, and you can't go backwards in. But to build the beginning of a component, like in less than an hour, I built this CRM system. I've got organizations, I've got people, I've got leads, I've got deals, activities, products, and projects, and I haven't got any data in there, but that took me less than an hour to create, right? So I
Hmm.
could potentially replace my CRM system where I'm paying £50 a month or something, and
Right, right,
in less
right.
than an hour, I've got something which potentially could replace it. It's not as good at the moment, um, but if we were to get this Kanban view working, it would be a little similar, and then it would just
Hmm.
be down to us to develop it further. But to start and get that far within like 4 hours is really impressive because when I started doing components before, even if I have a blank component and I need to just rename the files, even
Mhm.
that would take me an hour because you've got to rename all the classes and everywhere your name appears, you have to rename it again and make sure it's the right case and everything like that. So Component Creator is a very powerful tool really to start with.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the video will be online at that as soon as I blank out the customer details.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for attending, and Serge, nice to have met you, and thanks for your inputs, which were all pretty helpful. So it's good. And SD, always a regular attendee, so good to have you again.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Serge. Nice seeing you too, SD.
It was a pleasure for me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We do it every month, Serge. So if you want to come again, we'd welcome you.
Okay, thank you.
All
Um,
right.
Joe, do you want to do a sign off like Tim Davies?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, Tim, he's the master of sign-offs, but he said something along the lines of wherever this finds you, may it be yesterday, today, or tomorrow, may it all go well with you and with your Joomla sites, and God bless. Something along that line. I
Perfect.
haven't got it committed to memory, but good old Tim and his sign off. But yeah, no, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this. I really
Thank,
appreciate you
yeah,
sharing your knowledge.
of course, no problems, and thank you guys for coming because wouldn't be worth doing without you guys here.
Right.
Catch you
Okay.
later. Have a good
Have a
day,
good
evening,
weekend. What's
whatever.
left?
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.